Okay, awesome. Welcome guys to Reels training. This training is going to be geared towards everyone, whether you are someone that has done this before, maybe it's been a while, this might be the first time that you're doing this, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be going over some things for people that are just getting started. I'm also going to be giving some pro tips, even if you've been doing it a while. So as you guys have questions, feel free to put it in the comments, put it in the chat, and I'll make sure to answer that as I go throughout or at the end. So put in the comments for me real quick, guys, or put in the chat for me. Have you done Reels before? How do you feel about it on a scale of 0 to 10? 10 being like, I am the expert. There is almost nothing else that I could possibly learn about this. Tell me how you guys feel about that. All right. Want to gain a lot more ideas. Awesome. We got 5s. Good. Done them and sure want to gain a lot more. Awesome. Done 1. Feels like it's a task. 4. Okay. So we've got a good mixture here. Okay. Awesome. Need help. Okay. Well, that's why we're here. Awesome. Okay. So whenever this does get posted in United We Thrive, make sure to tag your team, because I do feel passionate that this is an area that can help you guys grow. So I want you to think about your mindset around Reels, right? Some of you might look at it as it might be overwhelming. Maybe you don't know how to do it. And you know what? I felt that way before. And it's all about mindset with everything, isn't it? It always goes back to mindset. But if we look at it as a new, interesting way to reach out and get whatever is on our heart, whatever's on our mind, and a creative outlet to the rest of the world, then things are going to shift a little bit. And I'm telling you guys, the more that you do it, the more excited you get, the more creative you get, and the more people you're going to reach. So I want you to kind of think about your mindset a little bit. And the only way to get started is, guess what, guys? It's just to get started. So I'm going to encourage you guys to make a reel alongside of me or take down some notes. Blair put in United We Thrive today, she is so generous. She put that she's running a challenge. And she is going to be giving away a Thrivepalooza ticket or reimbursing for a Thrivepalooza ticket. And all you have to do is you create a reel between now and Friday night, and you copy the link and you put that underneath the post in United We Thrive, and make sure that you tag Blair Critch. She's got her Instagram username in there if you aren't connected with her on Instagram, so that you can tag her. Okay. And if you're not sure how to do that, feel free to private message me and I will show you. So we'll see about getting that also in here. So maybe we'll make a nice little reel and tag Blair from the training. How about that? Yes. Okay. So we're going to be doing Instagram only today, Beth. But that is actually a really good idea, is getting into Facebook Reels, which are very, very new. So that is awesome. Right now I am repurposing my content. I'm downloading it from Instagram. We'll go through some of that too. And I do upload it over to TikTok sometimes, and then also Facebook Reels. We're going to try to keep things as simple as possible, and maybe we'll make this into a series depending on how much feedback and how much questions you guys actually have. Okay. All right, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Stand by. Go into Instagram. Did you guys see that Brock Johnson's going to be at Thrivepalooza? If you guys haven't followed him on Instagram, he gives the best social media tips. All right, so I'm going to give you guys some pro tips before we even do a reel. Okay, so at the bottom here, I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. In the bottom middle, do you guys, and it might be different for iPhones. I am on an Android, guys. Don't give me a hard time. The bottom middle, if you see that icon there, if you tap that, this is where it takes you into your Reels feed. Pro tip, Instagram is known to have a different algorithm for how it shows you what is in your home feed, what's in your explore feed with the hourglass that's at the bottom, your discover, and then also your Reels feed 3 different algorithms and how and why it's showing you what it is. Pretty cool stuff, right? So what I recommend is whenever you're looking at reels, stop the scroll, guys. It's easy to get lost. You could be doing this for hours, right? I set a timer, 10, 15 minutes. I'm looking for ideas of how I can take something and make it mine. It's easy to duplicate, but you need to be you. You need to feed your authenticity into it. And trust me, the more you do this, the easier it gets. So I'm looking for something that fits my niche, is something I feel comfortable talking about. Maybe it's just something I want to get started with if you're new to this. So we've got a few things going on here, right? And I have my sound turned off so it doesn't bug you guys. But when I am looking through reels and I've got my timer going, I am thinking to myself, is this something that I can duplicate, right? So what I'm doing during that time is usually I like to look for a couple of things. One is if it's trending. If it's trending, Instagram will push out those reels a lot more to your audience because it notices that there's a trend going on and it notices that you're using trending audio. How you know that? At the bottom right there where it says Javier underscore conception 25, that's the audio clip, okay? And next to it is an upwards arrow. That means it's a trending audio. All right, so there's a couple things you can do. You can click on the 3 dots on the right and hit save. And that will save these reels under your Instagram settings. If you go to your bio and you go into settings and you look for saved, it saves them all there under reels. If you guys are confused where I might be telling you, put that in the chat and I can show you guys real quick. But also what I'm doing is I'm tapping on the audio if this is something I want to save, and I hit save audio. This will come in handy here in a little bit, I promise you, okay? If it's something that I want to go ahead and do it right now, maybe I'm super inspired, I really, really, really just want to make this reel, maybe I've washed my hair, I got some makeup on, then I will hit use audio, and that will take me into reels to start a reel, and it will already have the audio on there for me. So it makes it really easy, okay? And again, if you guys have any questions, let me know. So I'll spend, again, 10, 15 minutes here, whatever time you have blocked off for that, getting a few ideas. And one thing that I didn't know this in the beginning, I didn't even think to do this. I'm going to stop my share screen here for a second. Let's see. Turn this off for a second. So one thing that really, really helped me as I started to get organized with reels was I would create them creatively, but over time I was like, I want to make a bunch at once and be able to release it over the next 2-3 weeks. Maybe I want to do 1 reel a day, or maybe 1 reel every other day. It's up to you. I started to make what's called a set list, right? And you guys might know of it of another term, but I noticed that some of these audios say original audio. And whenever I'm looking at the list of audios, which I'll show you guys here in a moment, what I'm talking about, I would have to listen to each one to remember what it is. And then I'd have to remember what was the idea I had around that whenever I saw this and I saved it, right? Things get lost. And so this was how I stayed organized. Now, again, if you saved the reel and you go into your profile to settings and you can see all the reels there, but I wanted to capture my idea of what I wanted to do. So what I do is when I'm doing this block time, I'll make a goal of trying to find 6 to 7 real ideas that I want to do. Okay. And I will write the exact title of the audio. You can't really see this, the exact title of that audio. I'll write some of the keywords that were in there that caught my attention. And then maybe some words of what I would like to do with it. So that way I've captured the audio, what it's about, and what I want to do. Just a few keywords. Okay. And I'll do a few of them at the same time. This has saved my butt so many times so that I can go and I can batch content. I can grab some clothes from my closet if I want to, or maybe I'll take off my jacket, have a shirt underneath and just put on a hat or something like that. But that way I can set up my tripod and boom, 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 knock them out in a row and save them as a draft. Okay. And again, if that's overwhelming for you, we just start at 1. And we go from there, guys. Keep it simple. Okay, so let me reshare. Okay, perfect. Looks like some of you are saving some of the songs. Awesome. Okay, good to hear. All right, so how you create a reel, you've got a few different ways of how you can do that. One is you can hit the plus icon here at the top, and that will allow you to create a post or a reel or go live. You can do that from your profile here. There's a plus icon at the top as well. I'm just a simple girl, so I'll just swipe left. If that's right, swipe left. And then down here at the bottom are those same options. So it leads you to the same place. It's just whatever makes it easier for you. Okay, I'm going to go over a few different things here that you're going to want to know. We're not getting to every little nitty-gritty thing, but we're going to cover the basics, guys. Okay, so first and foremost is, what is my audio? Right? So if you look at the top, the middle left here, those are my options. And I'm just going to go top to bottom what's relevant. So clicking on the song icon, first, it's going to show you some trending audio that is specifically geared towards you and what you tend to use and listen to the most. Yes, Instagram is tracking that, and that's just how the algorithm works. But for the purposes of today, I'm looking at the saved. So I'm going to tap saved at the top. And then I've got several that are saved here that I've just gone through, and I've hit that save button that I was showing you earlier from that reel. Okay, and this is, again, you can see original audio by Jackson Salad Boy, original audio by, Javier, right? That gets confusing, and that's why I highly recommend that set list to keep you organized, because you're going to look at this and have to hit that play button on the right to listen to it, right? All right, let's have a look at a couple of these. And you guys are welcome to use these audios. You guys are welcome. I'm going to encourage you guys, any that I've picked a couple of simple ones for you. This is one that you can make, and you can make yours between now and Friday, and you could post it. Okay. So here's a couple of these, and you're welcome to write down these names. So I'm going to do the Jackson Salad Boy original audio that's towards the middle. All right. So what it is that audio clip is saying yes. And it's like Beyonce. Okay, so you're welcome to write down the name of that so you can utilize that. And you're welcome to screenshot this, honestly, guys. So if you want to go ahead and screenshot it, majority of these are pretty simple ones that you can take and you can use. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and select that. And again, you guys, this is searchable, so that you can go and actually search for this original audio by that name. Okay, so you'll notice that instead of the song icon, instead of the symbol there, that it has the picture of the audio clip there. That's good. Below that, you can change the speed. So you could do 0.3, you could do half speed, normal speed ×2 or ×3. We're just going to do normal for this. And then the timer. So what is important here is on that timer there is, and I'm not sure if you guys can hear that, probably not, but if you look at the right side there, you can see countdown 3 seconds or 10 seconds if you tap on it. Okay. So if I'm doing something that I need to be a little bit far away from, I will have it set to 10 seconds, or I'll do 3 seconds, but I'll always put a timer on so I can get ready. I can step back a little bit, right? I could be a little bit more prepared. Those are the only options, are 3 seconds or 10 seconds. If we wanted to do multiple clips, it also does allow you to listen to the audio and maybe mouth some of the words to get familiar with it and get familiar with the timing. So I'll use the timer as that, because it will just keep looping that sound. And you can also say how long you want this clip to be. So think of it, each clip, as different videos that will be stitched together at the end. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? So I actually envision this one as a 2-part. So I'm actually lining it up to end the clip just a couple seconds into it. So I'll hit set timer. Okay, so next I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the filter, the effects and the filters. So this is where you kind of go with your heart, you go with your gut on this one. And if you want to use filters, you don't want to use filters, I say go for it. It's just another lane of creativity for you, and try different ones. It's just another added layer that you can put on, and Instagram does tend to reward you the more features that you use. Okay, so I have some favorites that I like to use. So just kind of play around with them and see what that looks like. So let me forward face this so you can see my beautiful face. But there's a bunch of different ones, right? And if you pay attention to some of the trends, this is one that's used on Encanto, where they do the We Don't Talk About Bruno, where you blink your eyes. That's a fun one if you guys want to try that one out. How you can find effects at the very end, you can search for them in the Discover feed. In stories, there's an hourglass at the very end. There's lots of different ways of how to find effects, or you could hit the button here, which is the 3 stars, and you can look for trending effects here and play around with it, and just choose new ones if it doesn't work for you. Okay, again, have fun with it. Don't spend too much time, but do try that out. There are ones that are great for reels. There are ones based for appearance. So there's different ones, and you can bookmark and save your favorites so you can always find them. All right, I like to use the passive income one by Rebelle Nutrition. That's just my fave. All right, so this is the point where we are ready to make a reel, right? So decide where am I going to be? Right. And you don't have to think too much time about it, but obviously I'm not going to be doing this while my kids are wrestling in the background, or maybe, that is the kind of reel that it is. Or, it might be something where I'm over in the corner and I've run, to the front. Thank goodness for the timers. So this one, this audio clip, if you listen to it, is, and then it has drones playing and it goes, yes. Okay, so this is going to be 2 clips for me. So I'm going to have you guys watch me do this one. Okay, this isn't weird at all. All right, so you're going to watch it count down, and then the audio is going to start playing, which you're not going to hear that one. Here, ready? Maybe we get some Thrive in the background. Okay. So let's say I didn't like that one. So what I did was, and I might be going a little bit fast, I can hit discard here. So we'll go ahead and hit discard. We're going to re-record that one. That lined up, that timer. Sometimes there are glitches within Instagram. I mean, it's going to happen. It's technology. So for a while there, the audio clip was looping over and over on top of what I'm hearing of what I recorded. Okay, if that happens, usually I'll see if I can continue, download it before I post it, make sure it still sounds good. Sometimes it's just a glitch in that moment. All right, so I'll hit done. Okay, so if you ever have clip or clips that you're doing, and I'm going to do a second one here to show you guys what I'm talking about, you do have the ability to go and remove whatever clips you want. You can reorder them. You can shorten them down. So if you ever have like instances where you're like moving your hands and you're hitting the button and to turn it off, like you can clip that out. You can make things look really cropped and really nice. So let's go ahead and try that one more time. And this time I'm going to turn my head for the next part, okay? And I'm going to review it. All right, so whenever I click on the scissor icon that's right here,
that's where it shows up below, and I can crop it wherever I want to. All right, this may not be the most perfect reel, but again, I'm just using it to demonstrate to you guys. So at the top right, I can hit trim. On the left, I can hit cancel and cancel out of this. I'm going to hit trim and then done. Okay, so the first clip is already done. Now you could do multiple clips if you want and then go back and trim it. It's up to you. But I do want you to pay attention to what's at the top here. Okay, do you see that red, the pinkish bar at the top? I want you to imagine from beginning to end, that is the most amount of time that you can do this reel. So when you don't have an audio clip selected, there's another option that's in the left side here. You can do reels 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, no more than 60 seconds, okay? Most attention spans are between 7 and 15 seconds, but sometimes the longer reels do get some good engagement, but that's what I tend to aim for, is everything under 15 seconds if I possibly can, okay? Now, since we already selected the audio and we started from there, it's going to make the reel no longer than what that audio clip is. Okay, so that's why I didn't have that selection there of 15, 30, or 60 seconds. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and set my timer again. We'll set that for 3 seconds, which is the remainder of the reel. And then down below is this really cool little button that you can line up with the last capture it had of your last reel. I'll show you what I mean. It kind of shows up as a I'm like a ghost now, guys. So you can line up things, right? So if you are moving in multiple reels and you want to be in the same position you were in the last clip, this is how you do it. It's just a little kind of cheat, kind of a shortcut for you guys. Something a little nice there. So I just wanted to show that to you guys, but we're just going to continue on. All right, so I'm going to move this a little bit over here. And then you know, if you want to show a product, maybe you want to show your DFT, maybe you just want to talk about something that's not necessarily Thrive. I do encourage you guys to give a range of whatever. So in any reel that I do, I have something about my business or something about my products displayed somehow, some way. It could be as simple as having Thrive on my shirt. It could be something as my DFT showing, but that may not be what the reel is about. Again, you are not Thrive, Thrive is not you. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys understood that. Okay, so let's go ahead and record the rest of it, and then we're going to put these puzzle pieces that we've been building together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the start button again, and it's going to count down. Okay, all right, so look at the top here. This is where you notice the entire bar is full. Okay, so this used up the entire amount of time. I could not record any more in this reel. If I wanted to, there is no more space left. All right. However, that last reel, for some reason, when I'm sharing my screen on Zoom, I cannot hear the audio whenever I am recording it. And that is, again, a technology glitch. So I'm kind of guessing with where I know that audio is. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that last one out. And I'm going to try that one more time. Hit done. So when you think about reels, and this was confusing to me in the beginning, is there's 4 parts to reels, right? You have the area where the clips are kept. Then you've got this main area where you record the clips, okay? The next area is the preview section. If I were to hit that preview button, that's when everything is coming together. I can put text on it. I can time when that text appears, things like that. I can do voiceovers. And then the 4th area is where you publish it. And that's where you put the captions. You can put your hashtags. You can choose to share it to Instagram, share it to your feed and all that. So there's really 4 parts, right? This is the main chamber that we're in right now. So I just want to make sure that, hopefully that's making sense to you guys. This is kind of the editing. This is the main part, the preview, and then the 4th part you can't see will be the very end where you add in the captions. All right, does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to grab this and I'm going to try it one more time. I'm going to listen to the timer here. Okay, so what I'm doing in my head is I'm counting how long before I hear that the sound that I'm trying to imitate. Okay, and get as close to as I can. I might try a few different times, again, don't get frustrated with it. It's something that does take time to kind of line things up. And sometimes I'll publish a reel that I've done like 20 times where I just want it. I'm happy enough with where it is. Or it might be something where I put it in my draft and I'll go back and I'll do it again in a few days if it's not fitting right now. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's go ahead and try this again. Okay. All right. So to me, that lined up. The only thing that I would probably change is I would clip out a little bit of the last part. So I'll hit the scissors here. Okay. All right. So now we're in the 3rd part I was telling you about. Now we are in the 3rd part that I was telling you about, the preview. Okay. And this is where your reel that you just made will loop over and over and over. Okay. So let me see if, okay. All right. So this is where you can add time text. There's a couple ways that you can do that. You just want to add text or you just want to set whenever it appears. So you can either tap on the screen and you'll have the text options to add there. Or at the top, you can click the lettering and do it from there. This is the point where I usually turn down my volume because hearing the audio clip over and over drives me insane. But I'm going to keep persevering for you guys. All right, so what is it that we want to add, right? Usually I'll use a couple of different fonts, but play around with it. There are some that appear to be read a lot easier. I usually only center text nowadays if it's the title. And what I mean is centering in the actual reel itself. But most times having things off center, change it up a little bit. Usually the left of the screen is usually best for text that you have appear. And I'll talk to you about that more in a minute. All right, so what do we want to say about this reel, right? All right, so tired. Sluggish. All right, I'm gonna put that up here. Actually, we'll do that down here. So I'm gonna add a couple different parts. Okay, so tired, sluggish. So what is it I'm trying to solve for? What is it I'm trying to say, or what is it I'm trying to catch their attention with? Try to keep it short, simple, succinct, because we can't be writing novels on here. It's just way too much. And then what is my solution, or what do I want to make them think about, right? I've got your answer or something along those lines. Right? Something like that, okay? So now is where we can set whenever that appears. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, do you see at the bottom here, it's got that running across and it's playing the video for you? You can tap on the text itself, and this is where you can shrink down where in that video you want it to appear. okay? And this takes playing around with it. If you play around with it enough, it's gonna start to make a little bit more sense to you. But maybe that first clip, I only want it to display up until I turn my head before the next clip starts. Now, here's the thing with Instagram that I really love, and actually TikTok doesn't have this. I tested it again this past week, is it will have a little vibration whenever you get to the end of a video clip, of a clip, right? Because there's 2 clips in this that I made. So that is my signal that I'm at the end of the video, so that I don't have to kind of guess and, you know, move this. I can actually feel the vibration, so I know that that is the end of that clip, okay? Then I'll select the other set, and I'll feel the vibration again. It also does vibrate at the end of another text sequence, because the tired sluggish is one sequence. I've got your answer is the second one. So it's kind of your cue, right? So I'll leave that there, and then I'll hit the check mark to make sure it looks good. Perfect. And again, if that does not make sense to you guys, please put that in the chat. Okay, awesome. All right, you can add some filters. So if you forgot to do that before, there are sorry effects that you can add afterwards in the preview section here. There are certain GIFs and captions you can add. So you do have some options there. I always recommend, this is going to be a pro tip for you guys, put an asterisk next to this one. And this is what Beth was talking about earlier. Hitting the save icon here at the top left, okay? There are certain audio clips that it will not allow you to save the audio. And that's due to license reasons or unknown reasons, honestly. But that's why, again, I make note of it. I will show you a workaround. Beth, I don't know if you know this pro tip or not, but I will show you a workaround later as well. That's one reason why I recommend it. 2 is sometimes there are glitches with Instagram, and sometimes reels get lost, drafts get lost. If you, let me do this. If you log out of Instagram, if you uninstall the app, your drafts are gone. Okay, I'll show you guys how to find your drafts and what I'm talking about here. But I always download reels before I publish, because you never know what can happen. And I've had a whole gamut of things happen to me time after time. So whenever you download it, it's in your gallery. Okay, right here. A third reason why I like to do it is because sometimes the text will get messed up between the time that I've made the reel and the time that it gets published, and it will squish it down. If that's going to happen, I'll know. So this is kind of my proofreading, if you will, but it's also my backup in case something happens to this. Okay, so I can play this just in my gallery like normal, and if there's audio, listen to it. All right. Also something here, and this is going to be a pro tip for you guys, is that whenever we get to the end, we have the ability to add a cover to this. I hear mixed reviews on some people having fancy covers and loving it, putting titles on it. Some just use whatever is from the video. But I don't know about you guys, but my phone has this little bottom left-hand icon here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I can actually tap that, and I can watch my video, and it'll take a screenshot of any part of that video as well. And then I can add text and everything here in my phone, or I can get fancy and do it in Canva, which usually I try not to spend that much time doing it, but that's a pro tip for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to say for all intents and purposes, this is good to go. I'm going to hit next. All right, and now I'm in the 4th part, and this is the final part before you save it as a draft or you share it to Instagram. Okay, let's just say I'm doing a bunch, I'm doing a bunch of reels at once. I can hit saved draft here at the bottom, And then how you find that, guys, is you go, I'm going to go here to the bottom right to my profile. And then this is my grid here. If I tap over to Reels right here, you'll see drafts. These are all the drafts that I've got, right? Some I'm still working on. So I'm going to click on that draft. And then here we are. So I'm going to give you guys another pro tip, because sometimes people will get lost whenever they hit the edit button and they can't find their way back to the first or second part to continue it. And I know it threw me for a loop when I was trying to figure this out. So when you hit edit, it's taking you to that third part. It's taking you to that preview. All right. So if you hit next, it's going to take you back to that fourth part. I want to go back to the second part right here. Right. So I hit the back icon, the back arrow icon to get to this. Right. And then here is the first one. Does that make sense? Is this all making sense? Starting to come together for you guys? Put that in the chat for me, please. Okay, I tend to go top to bottom with this, so I'm going to actually start with the cover. Right now there is a bug with Instagram still. I actually tested this on my husband's phone. You guys might notice this also. Whenever I'm going to select a cover, it's showing us upside down. And yes, I am on the most recent version of Instagram. So this is where you can do a couple things. You can either screenshot this, choose the spot you want. And Beth, put in the comments and let me know if you have selected one of these cover images that are upside down and it actually posted correctly, or honestly anybody, if you've come across this, because I would really like to know if it still functions. I haven't trusted it to actually function right side up. So what I would do, guys, is I would screenshot it. And this bug's only been around, I think, for about 3 weeks at this point. I've already reported to Instagram twice. Is I'll screenshot it, and then in my gallery, I will go and I will flip it around, right? So I'll download it, I'll flip it around, and I might add some text to it, okay? So that's what I would do there. Okay, Beth said she had one post upside down and IG fixed it. I wonder, Beth, how long that actually took for that to happen. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to edit it, turn it around. I'm just going to leave that as is. And then I have the ability to add in text as well. Need more energy? Question mark. Okay. Hope you guys like it when I talk to you about through the text. So I'll put that up there. Save. And then I'll hit add from gallery. Boom, right there. Adding that in. Again, you don't have to. I've just been kind of playing around with the cover of my reels because that does show, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. All right, caption. So this is where I talk a little bit more. And honestly, I go back and forth. Sometimes I'll do educational content with bullet points. I always have a call to action, just like you do with posts. So you have to think through, what is it I'm trying to do here? Am I trying to get people to take action and buy my product? Am I going to tell them that they need to click the link in my bio? You know, how do you get through the day without falling asleep or needing naps? You know, what do you do for energy? So maybe that's a question there, and encouraging them to comment. So always have some sort of call to action. There is every now and then where I will just do inspirational stuff. So, and you guys are welcome to go through my reels and take a look at what I've posted and get some inspiration and see some things that I've done and maybe have some laughs and have some cries. It's all there, okay? All right, so this is where I'm going to add some text. Tap the link in my bio to find more. All right, and then share to feed. Okay, so this is where I also get mixed results, but I've actually not been sharing my reels to feed. And I'll tell you guys in a minute why that is, but I actually toggle that off. And then I'll add a location. So if you followed, if you haven't checked out Kelly Hoover's geotagging that she did in the team huddle, that is a video that's in United We Thrive for about, I think 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago, Kelly did it. So I'll actually follow the same, I'll be researching the same geotag every day. And then any reels that I post that week, I'll also use that same location for consistency. And then now, since Facebook does have reels, depending on what audio you're using, it will also add that to Facebook Reels, meaning it will display on Facebook Reels. It's really hard to explain. It won't upload it as a reel to Facebook. It'll just display, and any comments that they want to read, it actually pushes them back to Instagram to do that. Okay, so that's why if you're looking at Facebook Reels, you click on comments and it has you tap to go to Instagram, it's because that reel was actually created on Instagram and it was shared there. So that you can't choose. It'll say yes, it'll say on if it's available to be recommended on Facebook, but you can turn that off if you don't want. There is in your Instagram settings, you could just default it to off completely if you wanted to. Okay. Tag people. Okay, so this is where when we go on getaways, when we go on retreats, when we go to training together or locals together, you want to be able to tag other people just like you can in posts and pictures, and they can share it to their stories or what have you. That makes it a lot easier. So in this case, I'm not going to tag people, but again, that would be, in this case, you can tag Blair. Right, so that's where I would do at Blair, and she is at Blair Critch too. Okay, I hope I win. I'm just kidding, I can't compete. And then I would hit share to Reels. You'll notice that it is loading to Reels right here. It's actually uploading. Now it's not uploading to your stories, guys. You have to do that separately. And I'm gonna actually tell you a gotcha about that. So let's give it a moment here while it processes through. Beth, I'll go back and I'll tell you why I'm not putting that on my feed. Okay. So right here, do you see the, can you guys hear the audio now? Probably not. Okay. All right. So do you see the icons on the right? You hit the share icon here, which is that little paper plane. You can hit add reel to your story. Okay. So this could also be where you tag Blair and you can let her know, but stories are 24 hours. Now, here's the gotcha about stories, and you can add text around it. And guess what? Brock Johnson, who's going to be at Thrivepalooza, he actually taught me this the other day through one of his stories I was watching, one of his reels, is that these reels that you're sharing to your stories, they now count for views. I didn't think they did before, but Instagram says that they do now. So your views will actually go up if you have been doing reels and sharing to your stories. They will now go up in views based off your viewers. All right. And then again, if you didn't tag Blair before, you could go to the little sticker face icon, mention, and then select Blair there as well. All right. So, and then I know we're not teaching stories, but I would hit the bottom right-hand corner to share that to my stories. All right, so here's the gotcha with that. And I'm going to, I'll go back to Instagram here in a second and finish out the rest. The gotcha with that is you share these reels to your Instagram story, right? They will not show on your Facebook story if you do have things plugged in together. They will not. They will not show up. So anything I put on my Instagram story shows up on my Facebook stories, except for Reels. That is one that does not go over automatically. So those are ones that if I really, really want it over there, I've already downloaded it. So what I can do is I can go into Facebook, I can create a story, and I can select that video that I downloaded. Okay. I can also go into Facebook, create a reel over there, and just upload that video that I created over here that I downloaded. And I believe, and Beth, I'm going to ask you this because you're like the Facebook reel queen. We need to get you to do Facebook reels, which is very similar to this, guys. Once you get this down, I think you can do Facebook reels. Beth, let me know if you agree or disagree with that. But Beth, I would love to hear from you. Are you able to share Facebook reels to your story, your Facebook story?
Sharing your Facebook's reels to your stories takes multiple steps. It takes a little bit of time to teach.
Okay.
You have to do it's like 4 steps.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so I just wanted to hear that that is possible, but I'll see if I can convince Beth to do some training for us, or maybe we'll just kind of duo it, Beth. We'll have some fun with it. Okay, all right, so let me jump back to Instagram here. And I'm gonna go back to my profile. Okay. And this. All right, so let me, okay, so now we can see that reel. Okay, so this is where we can see how many views we get per reel, okay? And whenever I'm looking at the reels and I'm looking at my feed, that little button that I toggled off keeps my grid, which is what this is called, with my posts clean. Otherwise, if I am adding my reels to my grid, it kind of duplicates it, right? Because there's a section for reels and then there's a section for your posts. But whenever in your grid you have your posts and your reels, it just kind of duplicates what you already have in your reels section. So it just kind of keeps things a little bit cleaner. And I've noticed that since, and I'm pretty sure that was a Brock Johnson tip as well, if I didn't hear it from someone else. It's just cleaner. It keeps everything a little bit more concise, because I might be looking through someone's reels and I might want to go look at their post. But then I'm already, if they're sharing their reels to their grid, to their feed, which is what it's called in the when I was writing the caption, right? Then it just kind of gets messy because you got reels in the reels section, then you have your posts, it's just kind of intermingled, and it's like, I already saw that, right? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? So it kind of cleans it up a little bit. Now, from an algorithm standpoint, I have not heard that it makes any bit of difference. And if any of you other Instagram gurus have heard something else, feel free to put it in the comment or in the chat. But I have been following this for a while and I've not heard that it changes anything. It just kind of cleans it up a little bit. If you're like, man, I want to go back and I want to clean up any reels that I had been showing to my grid, it's actually super easy to clean up. So let me go back. So see if I can find one. And what I'm looking for is the reels icon that's at the bottom middle. Is in the video. So that tells me it's a reels video. So this one right here, click on it. And then the 3 dots right here, I can say remove from profile grid. Okay. And that will remove it from the profile grid. It'll be still in my reels section, but it'll be removed from the grid. All right. Okay, what else, guys, do we have questions on? Watermarks. Okay, so Renee, do you mind unmuting and asking your question on watermarks and what it is that you mean by that?
I don't know anything about it. It's just what Beth Bolas shared, something in regards with watermarks from either Facebook or Instagram. I don't know. I was just curious.
Okay, Beth, I think, and feel free to correct me here, but oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
You can't share. In other words, there's a little icon that shows at the top of your corner of your reel. You can't share that reel over to Facebook, and you can't like make a TikTok and share it to. You're not supposed to, okay? Share it to, because they tend to bury them. If it has a TikTok on it icon. So that's where it's important to save it before you publish it. And one more tip. I just lost my reel. Had it ready to go. It happens. I don't know where it went. Okay. It happens. You just have to, that's where it's so important for you to save it before you go to publish it. It vanished.
And again, it's a backup, right? Glitches happen. It happens all the time with other apps. Sometimes you notice it, sometimes you don't, guys. I'm sorry, Beth, if that happened to you. Wish I could wave a magic wand and have it magically reappear. Okay, and so what Beth is talking about, and TikTok and Instagram have actually come out and talked about this a couple of times, is now they're at the point where they really want you to stay within its app and use its app to make your content, okay? And for people like us, we like to create once and repurpose because it's just makes sense efficiency-wise, time-wise, right? But it's mainly, Beth, between TikTok and Instagram, or TikTok and Facebook right now, right? Facebook owns Instagram. It's the same company. So creating TikToks and uploading it to Instagram or Facebook, they have said that they're going to limit the audience viewing those, and vice versa, right? TikTok's saying that about Instagram and Facebook. So there is a watermark that is natural to the videos that you're downloading. There are apps that you can use to remove said watermark. I've tried a couple of them. I haven't gotten too far down into it, but there are videos that you could YouTube and look up how to do that if that is something that you really want to do. Now, I want to show you guys one more pro tip, and then we'll go to any other questions that you guys have, just for sake of time here. Okay. Okay, so on Instagram, on the reel, we can hit save to camera roll here, or copy link is right here, or share to, right? So you can share this to another app. And I have Reels Downloader. I've got All Video Downloader. These again are ones you can find. You just type in Instagram Reels Downloader or what have you and try an app there, or you can copy it into the browser each time, copy the link. If you do need to download it, you don't have those other options, okay? All right, let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Go ahead.